beneath the Baobab Tree. In the heart of Kunyali, a vibrant village nestled between the rolling hills and vast savannas of Africa, stood the ancient baobab trees, massive, towering sentinels of wisdom and time. They had seen generations pass by, their gnarled branches reaching toward the heavens as though embracing the very soul of the earth. And it was beneath these very trees that the story of Adama and Kofi unfolded. Adama's love. Adama was a woman of unmatched beauty and grace, tall and slender, with skin as dark and rich as the night sky. Her laughter echoed through the village like music on the wind. She was known for her kindness, her wisdom, and the strength of her spirit. Her father, an elder in the village, often spoke with pride about his daughter's fierce heart and bright mind. From a young age, Adama's heart had been claimed by Kofi, a charming, ambitious young man with a smile that could melt the hardest of hearts. Kofi was the son of a respected warrior and leader in the village, a man known for his valor and strength. Kofi was everything the village admired: handsome, strong, and filled with the ambition to rise above his roots. For years, Adama and Kofi shared their dreams beneath the shade of the Baobab tree. Their love was simple and pure, two souls connected by fate. To the villagers, their bond seemed unshakable, a love story woven by the gods themselves. But love, as it often does, has a way of testing even the strongest hearts. The humiliation. The day of the grand festival arrived. It was a time for celebration, music, dance, and feasting. The air was filled with the scent of roasted meats and sweet spices, and the village square was alive with color. Adama wore a beautiful red dress made of finely woven fabric, adorned with intricate beads that shimmered in the afternoon sun. Her heart was light, for she believed this festival would mark the beginning of their future together. Kofi, however, had other plans. As the villagers gathered to celebrate, Kofi stood before them with a stunning woman by his side. This woman, Nia, was the daughter of a wealthy merchant, a family whose riches far surpassed Kofi's own. Nia was beautiful, graceful, and dressed in the finest silks that glittered in the sunlight. She was everything Adama was not: wealthy, refined, and born into privilege. And in that moment, with the village watching, Kofi publicly humiliated Adama. His voice rang out over the crowd as he announced, "I have chosen a new path. Nia is my future." Adama felt as though the world had dropped out from beneath her feet. The crowd fell silent. Her heart broke as Kofi turned away, his hand now firmly in Nia's, leaving Adama standing alone in the center of the square. The girl who had once been his everything was now discarded, a forgotten memory in front of the whole village. Tears welled in Adama's eyes, but she refused to show weakness. The pain was unbearable, yet she stood tall. The love she had once given so freely was rejected, and her dreams of a life with Kofi shattered like glass. The journey of revenge, Adama ran from the village, seeking solace in the dense forest that bordered Kunyali. The moonlight bathed the forest in a silver glow as she collapsed beneath the towering trees. There, alone in the wilderness, she made a vow that would forever change the course of her life. "I will never allow anyone to humiliate me again. I will become stronger, wiser, and more powerful than I ever was, and I will make him regret the day he chose Nia over me." The next 2 years passed in quiet solitude. Adama's sorrow transformed into resolve. Her father, seeing her pain, took her under his wing and taught her the ancient ways of their ancestors: herbal medicine, magic, and the art of warfare. She learned to craft powerful potions, spells, and curses, knowledge passed down through the generations of wise women in her lineage. No longer the innocent girl who had once loved Kofi, Adama became a force to be reckoned with. Her body, once delicate, was now strong and toned from the training she had undertaken. Her mind was sharp, and her heart, once soft, was hardened by the years of solitude and learning. Through her training, Adama learned how to harness the power of nature. calling upon the earth's energy, the elements, and the ancient spirits. She had mastered the art of revenge, but also that of healing. She had become a woman of mystery, and her name, though few knew it, was whispered in the shadows of the village. Adama returns. 2 years later, the grand festival of Kunyali arrived once again. The village buzzed with excitement as the preparations for the celebration began. The villagers sang, danced, and decorated their homes, all eagerly awaiting the event. Kofi, now a respected leader in the village, stood at the center of it all. His wealth had grown, his influence spread, and his marriage to Nia had only cemented his place at the top of the social hierarchy. He was untouchable. Adama, however, was no longer the young woman who had once loved him. She returned to the village under the cover of darkness, dressed in a simple yet elegant robe of deep blue, woven with golden thread and adorned with symbols of power. Her long hair, once loose and carefree, was now intricately braided, interwoven with beads and feathers. Her eyes, sharp and determined, burned with the fire of a woman who had transformed their pain into purpose. Adama walked through the village, her presence barely noticed by the busy villagers. She had changed beyond recognition, and she was now a woman of immense power, power that could topple even the mightiest. She had come not for forgiveness, but for revenge. The course unfolds. The festival was in full swing by the time Adama found Kofi. The village square was alive with music, laughter, and dancing, but Adama's eyes were fixed on one person, Kofi. His confidence, once unshakable, was now visible in every movement, every word he spoke. But there was something in the air, a subtle shift, a feeling that something was amiss. As Kofi raised his cup in a toast, Adama approached him silently. Her steps like a shadow, she moved through the crowd unnoticed, drawing closer to the man who had broken her heart. Without a sound, she reached for the vial of glowing liquid hidden within her sleeve. She had crafted it herself, a powerful potion capable of breaking a man's spirit and draining his strength. With a whisper, she placed the liquid into Kofi's drink. As the night went on, Kofi began to feel strange. His body, once strong and invincible, began to tremble. His strength ebbed away like water slipping through his fingers. The wealth he had accumulated seemed to dwindle before his eyes, his resources slipping away. His mind clouded, and soon he began to doubt his place in the village. Adama watched cold and composed as Kofi's once proud empire slowly began to crumble. The curse had taken hold. Kofi's realization days turned into weeks, and Kofi found himself in a nightmare he could not escape. His health began to fail, his fortune melted away, and his leadership faltered. The villagers who had once praised him now whispered in fear, unsure of what was happening to their leader. Finally, Kofi understood. Someone had cursed him. He searched for answers, consulting healers and elders, but none could explain the strange affliction that had overtaken him. His last hope was the one person he had once betrayed, Adama. One evening, as the sun set beneath the baobab trees, Kofi found her. She stood alone, her back to him, her silhouette framed by the dying light. His voice was trembling with regret as he called out to her, Adama, what have I done? I never meant for this. Adama turned to face him, her eyes cold, yet there was a flicker of something deeper, something ancient. She had watched him suffer, but her heart no longer ached. Instead, it was a heart that had learned the weight of power and vengeance. You humiliated me, Kofi, she said softly, her voice carrying the weight of years of sorrow and strength. But it is not for me to heal you. You will suffer the consequences of your choices for as long as I deem it necessary. Kofi fell to his knees, finally understanding the depth of his mistake. The pain of losing everything was the cost of his arrogance, and no one could save him now. Forgiveness or vengeance. Adama stood before Kofi, her gaze unwavering. She had the power to end the course, to release him from his torment, but she chose not to. I will not be your savior, she said. But know this, I am not your enemy. I am your lesson. You will live with the consequences of your actions, and I will leave you to face them." With that, Adama turned away, walking once more beneath the baobab tree, leaving Kofi to grapple with the ruin he had brought upon himself.